Hello, I'm glad you are here. I'm Dr. Kimberly Garver, faculty member of the Department of Radiology at Michigan Medicine. I'm here on behalf of my wonderful colleagues, Dr. Catherine Maturin, who is a wonderful leader in our department and in the field of radiology, and Dr. Amy Young from the Bross Business School and the Center for Positive Organizations. We were fortunate to have 3 undergraduate students assist us in this project, which was funded by a grant from the Michigan Medicine Wellness Office. This is a series of 16 short 10-minute modules based on the seminal book by Dr. Kim Cameron entitled Positively Energizing Leadership. Dr. Kim Cameron is one of the 3 founders of the Center for Positive Organizations, which is trying to change the world of work into a more life-affirming, humane place, while at the same time producing often dramatically higher performance. We have one introductory module that shares the principles of what positive, energizing leadership is and what it can do. The next 15 modules discuss one leadership attribute that was found across many different industries to be empirically validated to improve workplace well-being and performance. The great news is that each of these attributes and behaviors are easily accessible, can be learned, free, and require no additional staff or resources. Today, we will be discussing the 5th attribute, the power of forgiveness for ourselves and others. Let's get started. Learning to forgive ourselves and others for mistakes we make is a critical skill, as no one is perfect. Positively energizing leaders forgive weaknesses in others by helping to model how we own those weaknesses and learn to improve them without inducing shame. De-energizing leaders don't offer forgiveness and try to induce guilt or shame in themselves or others for their mistakes. Positively energizing leaders see mistakes as learning opportunities, find and point out the positive, even in dim situations, and proactively identify ways to improve. De-energizing leaders negatively judge others for their mistakes and induce shame and create guilt. Many studies document the importance for both employees and employers to offer forgiveness to each other. Here are just some of the benefits that have been described. It improves employee productivity, decreases absenteeism, decreases mental and physical complaints, improves engagement, and decreases anger, hostility, and rumination. Trying to do our best is one thing, but perfectionism is taking this to the extreme, and there are problems. Perfectionism is a common trait among physicians and has detrimental effects on patient care and physician health. Perfectionists strive for flawlessness, set excessively high standards, and tend to be overly critical of their own behavior and of those of others as well. Perfectionism shouldn't be confused with the pursuit of excellence through hard work and diligence. And perfectionism often results in the person feeling like a failure, and shame sets in. Perfectionism can slow us down to the point of paralysis when we have limited time, and it can harm our mental health by increasing anxiety, lead to low self-esteem, burnout, even depression and suicide. It's really hard to forgive others when we don't even know how to forgive ourselves. So we're going to talk about how important it is to learn about self-compassion, and this is an important start. Dr. Kristin Neff is an expert in the field of self-compassion, and there are 3 important elements to develop self-compassion. The first is that you are kind and understanding to yourself, like you would be to others. The second is that suffering is a common human experience. We are not special or alone in our suffering. And the third is that we are mindful of our emotions in the present, and we take a more balanced approach to try to identify them for what they are and not exaggerate them, and to do so without judgment. Self-compassion does not mean that you can wallow in self-pity and become self-absorbed. Being kind to yourself does not mean that you'll become lazy or self-indulgent. In fact, self-flagellation and shame often backfire on us. We want to change something. The need for high self-esteem in Western culture may cause us to overlook our shortcomings and not see ourselves clearly. So watch this important 10-minute TED Talk by Dr. Kristin Neff on the space between self-compassion and self-esteem. Here are some practical ways to learn to practice more self-compassion and to forgive others. 1, just learn more about self-compassion and the power of forgiveness by taking a course on self-compassion or reading a book. As a leader, talk about your own mistakes and how you recovered and you grew from them. Create space for risk-taking, failure, and growth in your unit or organization. And offer true forgiveness to others without holding grudges. And you'll find it helps you even more than it helps others. Here are some additional tips and tricks to help us all offer more forgiveness to ourselves and others. Watch out for black and white or all or nothing thinking when it comes to making mistakes, that extreme self-talk we all do. Set realistic expectations with the time, skills, and resources that you have. That's all you can ever do. Focus on work-life balance and self-care. Or reach out to coaches and or other mental health professionals to provide support. If you have time, break into small groups to discuss these questions over the next 15 minutes. Small groups are best kept at 4 to 6 people maximum. Please assign one person in the group to report insights, learn from the group back to the larger group when we return. What did you learn that resonated with you? What did you learn that challenged or surprised you? What suggestion will you implement for yourself? What suggestion will you implement in your work setting with others? What else